Good morning, good morning, good morning. Facebook. Make sure you say hello. Give me a wave or a heart when you come in. We're going to get started with our training here in a minute. We are going over how to increase lean muscle mass while keeping body fat levels relatively low, which is possible. So, I am so excited for this training. I know y'all are too. You voted for it. So let's go ahead and get started here in just a moment. Again, make sure you wave and say hello when you come in so I know you're there. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Get your pen and pencils ready to take notes. All right, building lean muscle. Y'all ready to do a training? Who do we have on this morning? Make sure you say hello. How are you doing? How's the weather? How you feeling? All of my girls in LRD 180 or 2.0, how are you doing with your progress? Would love to know. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Building lean muscle. So you all voted for this topic. This was the winning one. Let's go ahead and dive in. What's up, Becca? What's up, Sydney Ray? How are y'all doing? It's Friday Junior. Are y'all excited for the weekend? This week flew by for me. Some weeks are slower than others. This week flew by. But nonetheless, I'm still very ready for the weekend. I love the weekend. I like to lay low, recharge, and do nothing. Those are like my dream weekends. So let's go ahead and get started with this training. We are going to go over tips to build lean muscle. So let's go ahead and get started. So building lean muscle is the best way to increase. Of course, you know, I hate to interrupt y'all, or interrupt myself, but I've got my notes pulled up. So if you are new to my trainings and you see me looking this way, I'm always looking at my notes. So that's what I'm looking at. Just so you know. Good, Sydney, this week flew, didn't it? I don't know. Like yesterday, I was like, how is it Wednesday? And I can't believe tomorrow's Friday. I swear to you, yesterday was just Monday. I don't know how it happened, but thank you for joining. And where in Illinois are you? Are you in Chicago? Of course, everybody probably thinks of Chicago when they hear Illinois, but Illinois is a pretty big state. I love Illinois. I'm glad y'all are having great weather. Any hoozy, building lean muscle. So building lean muscle is the best way to increase your metabolism as well as maintain a relatively lean body composition. But, if you have significant body fat to lose, then I actually recommend a fat loss phase first before implementing a muscle building phase. Why, you ask? Great question. Well, normally you eat in a caloric surplus to gain muscle, and you really don't have to eat in that big of a surplus. I mean, anywhere from 250 to 500 calories on top of your TDEE, which is your total daily expenditure, is more than enough to build lean mass. Kind of like when you're losing body fat. You know, a modest deficit of 250 to 500 calories is more than enough when combined with daily movement to lose body fat. However, when you're eating in a slight surplus to gain muscle, some of that surplus will be, and make sure you write this down because this is important. I cannot seem to get every woman to wrap her head around this, but some of that caloric surplus will be, not maybe, will be stored as fat. That's just our biology. Physiologically, that's what we do. Kind of like the taxing system with money. When we take in, a surplus of calories, even though we can partition most of those to go to muscle growth, the body's still going to take a little and go, I'm just going to take I'm going to tax a little bit of this and just store it here just in case. That's normal. There's no human that defies that process. So when women come to me and they say, I want to lose fat and build muscle, I say, great. Which one do you want to work on first? Because you can't do both at one time. But what we can do is we can build muscle, eat in a slight caloric surplus, but facilitate what we're doing every day to make sure that the least amount of that fat store is happening, if that makes sense. So again, this is why we're going to talk about increasing lean mass while keeping body fat levels relatively low, because again, you can't do both. And I hope you wrote that down and highlighted it, that some of that caloric surplus will be, not maybe, will be stored as fat. Okay? So again, the goal is to have most of that surplus shuttled to repair and build muscle. Okay? That's what we're going to do here. Now, the problem is when there are already excess fat stores or you have a higher body fat index, the body is not as efficient as partitioning those extra calories towards muscle repair and growth, which normally leads to additional fat gain. Have you ever heard someone say they're doing a dirty bulk or a lean bulk? That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to build muscle, bulk up, but a lot of the times, maybe you've seen this, you see someone who's doing that dirty bulk and they're not really getting more muscular or ripped looking, they're just getting big. Kind of like a football player. They're just look like a train. They're just getting bigger, right? So this is why I say, if you have a higher amount of body fat right now, then you need to focus on a fat loss phase first. Then you can focus on building muscle. Because if you start out, again, with excess body fat and you start eating in a surplus, your body is not set up to partition extra calories towards muscle growth. It is going to follow the trend of hanging on to body fat. Your insulin sensitivity is likely not where it needs to be. You're probably a little insulin resistant. So that's why you're probably not, gaining traction with your workouts or in the gym. So whenever I see women who are with a higher body fat composition, and I see them trying to lift heavy and build muscle, I'm kind of thinking in the back of my mind, what are you doing? What are you doing? You would be much better off, honestly, getting your nutrition dialed in, walking 30 to 60 minutes a day, and actually staying out of the gym for a month or two until you get your body fat levels down. Then you are in a better place to go ahead and start thinking about lifting weights and gaining muscle. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know in the comments if this is hitting home and making sense for you. Good morning, Gina. Good morning, Bridget. Thank you for joining. Hope you are doing well. Cheers. I've got my Raza latte today. Last week it was a turmeric latte. Today, I got that Raza. So, recap. Building lean muscle is the best way to increase your metabolism as well as maintain a relatively lean body composition. But if you have significant body fat to lose, then I actually recommend that fat loss phase first before implementing a muscle building phase. Why? Because when you eat in a caloric surplus to gain muscle, which you need to do, some of that surplus will be stored as fat. That's just our biology. And though the goal is to have most of that surplus, again, shuttled to repair and build muscle. And it can do that a lot better when you're starting out with less body fat reserve. Okay? Now, again, the problem is when we already have excess fat stores, higher body fat percentage, the body is not as efficient as partitioning those extra calories, which in turn usually leads to additional fat gain. Insulin sensitivity is not where it needs to be. You're probably having a lot of insulin resistance. Again, the body is not set up to shuttle those extra calories yet for muscle repair. You need to do a fat loss phase first. So once your body composition is at its optimal set point, meaning you're at a desirable weight for your body frame and you have normal levels of body fat, so you're within your normal index of body fat and your body composition, then you can begin focusing on building muscle. That's just from my personal experience as a certified trainer, and that's what seems to work across the board best with my clients. From the clients in the past that I was training in person at a local gym, and since the last couple of years of transitioning to online courses and working with women, hundreds of women one-on-one, this is what I do across the board with all of them, and this works. This is not a one-size-fits-all when it comes to like tailored nutrition and all that. It's just a fact that when you want to lose weight or body fat, you go into a caloric deficit. If you want to build muscle but keep your body fat levels low, you need to go into a slight caloric surplus because your body needs those extra calories to build the muscle and shuttle those calories to repair and rebuild tissue. And it cannot do that when you're in a deficit, or it cannot do that when you're in a caloric deficit, and it cannot do that if you have excess body fat, okay? So just keep those things in mind. Yes, Becca. Oh, we always want to get ahead of ourselves. Look, and a lot of us, let's be honest, when we go into lean muscle and build and losing body fat, I get it. You so desperately want to be at the other side of the finish line that you just want to get there quick. And a lot of women don't want to hear, actually, you got to stop, you got to do this first, and then you be ready for this. They just want to hear like, what's the quickest way for me to look a certain way so I can feel a certain way. It just doesn't work like that. All right. So here's what I want you to do. If you're listening to this and you're thinking, okay, I need to, well, first of all, let's focus on the women listening to this that need to do a fat loss phase first. So maybe you just heard everything I said and you're like, okay, that's me. I definitely need to focus on fat loss first before I go into building lean muscle. If this is you, let me know. Send me a heart, give me a wave, let me know. Let's go over what I want y'all to focus on first. Let me know if you're ready. I don't want to rush ahead. I know you're taking notes, so let me know if you're ready to hear the next steps, if you're ready to focus on a fat loss phase first. It's pretty simple. Y'all awake? Y'all there? And there's a little bit of a delay on here, so let me know. Do you think you need to lose, or do you think you need to go into a fat loss phase first, or do you think you're ready to build muscle based on what we just went over? Becca, yes. My yes girl. You ready to roll? Who is ready to hear about a fat loss phase first before heading into building lean muscle? What's up, Stephanie? Yep, you want to do a fat loss phase too? Perfect. All right, so for the ladies who want to focus on fat loss first, here's some simple steps. First, focus on creating a caloric deficit. Again, no more than 250 to 500 calories, less than your total daily expenditure. So if you are an LRD, whether it's my DIY course or the online group coaching 2.0 course, we go over all of this in the caloric baseline homework, by the way, if you're interested in joining our online course. Feel free to ask me some questions about that afterwards. But yes, you want to create a caloric deficit. And this is for those of you who want to go through a fat loss phase first. So you want to create a caloric deficit no more than 250 to 500 calories less than your total daily expenditure. Second, with strength training, you can still do some strength training workouts. Okay. Now you're not going to go in for super like hardcore like hypertrophic building, meaning you're not trying to go in and build huge muscles right now. What you want to do is you want to go in and you want to focus on higher rep, okay, lower weight, all right, higher rep, lower weight, all right. You also want to do low impact aerobic movements that are easy on the joints and that allow you to build your cardio endurance. Okay, so low impact aerobic movements that are easy on the joints and allow you to build some cardio endurance. Okay, keep interval or HIIT, high intensity interval training workouts reduced to twice or less times a week. So no more than twice a week. I think there's absolutely a time and place for HIIT. However, when overdone, it actually stresses out the body. It can cause significant inflammation, water retention, and slow recovery. So you're more likely to burn out and not follow through. I think HIIT, trust me, I love the adrenaline. I love how pumped up I feel after a good vigor workout. But what I'm saying is with fat loss, actually, this is the good news, less is more. Okay, no more than 2 HIIT sessions a week. Honestly, I would maybe stick to 1 a week. And then again, really dial in your nutrition. Cut out the alcohol. This is my next one. But cut out the alcohol and walk 60 minutes a day. Whether you break it up into 2 30-minute walks, you could do 3 20-minute walks, you could do 4 15-minute walks, it doesn't matter. But literally, you can lose fat just as efficient as the crazy workouts you've been doing and restricting your calories, doing it an easier way, just by tailoring your nutrition with a slight caloric deficit and walking and doing low impact aerobic movements to help you build mobility, take the stress off of your ligaments and joints. Because if you are carrying extra body fat, even if it's just 10 pounds, you need to be mindful of your joints, your ligaments, etc. Okay? Also, alcohol. That was my next one. What's up, Jenna? You got to cut out the alcohol, okay? I mean, I would say give it up for 90 days. You can do anything for 90 days. The fact of the matter is a lot of us say, I've tried everything. You're eating right. You're working out. But what's the one thing you haven't given up? The alcohol. The weekend glass or 2 or 5 of wine, okay? I'm just saying, you've been doing things your way long enough. Wouldn't it be worth it just to try in entirety to do all of the things that you know are going to help facilitate the fat loss? I would say, give it a whirl, So cut out the alcohol, all right? So, what did Gina say? Yep, y'all read it in the comments. So Gina is actually in LRD 180, the DIY mini course. If y'all have any questions, I'm sure Gina would be glad to advocate for that course of how effective it is. But Gina has lost 10 pounds just by walking every day. Y'all, I'm not up here for funsies. I'm up here to helpsies. So please heed and take the advice that I'm giving you. And what did Cindy Ray say? I feel like I'm in between. Let me see. What else did you say? But I have fat to lose too. It's possible for me. I'm a fitness coordinator. My life is working out a lot, but I have fat to lose too. Is it possible for me? Yeah, so Sydney, honestly, this is kind of like your unique case. If you're a fitness coordinator, then you should probably know the answer to that question yourself a lot better than I would. But yeah, if and I don't have eyes on you. I don't know your current and individual stats. So y'all are going to have to determine whether or not you are in a fat loss phase or you're ready to build muscle. However, some ways that you can look at that is, are you at a healthy weight for your body and frame? What are your body fat levels? These are pretty intuitive things. If you're not sure, always, always, always ask your doctor. Your doctor can tell you. You can go get a physical and just be like, hey, am I at a healthy weight? Where am I in terms of my BMI? Yes, I know BMI can be relative. That can change, especially after you've developed a lot more mature lean mass. But for the most part, most of us starting out can get a general idea of where we fall on the spectrum in terms of our weight and our body fat levels. Okay? So let's focus again. Let's recap real quick, okay? Let's go over everything. So building lean muscle is the best way to increase your metabolism. So write this down. Building lean mass increases your metabolism and it helps maintain a relatively lean body composition, because if it burns more calories to maintain lean muscle, you're going to have relatively lower body fat levels. However, before you can start building muscle, if you have significant body fat to lose, I recommend a fat loss phase before implementing a building phase. Why? Because when you eat you have to eat in a slight caloric surplus to gain muscle. Some of that surplus will be stored as fat. That's just our biology. And the goal is to have most of that surplus, however, shuttled to repair muscle and tissue growth. The problem is when there is excess body fat, okay, the body is not as efficient as partitioning those extra calories in that surplus, towards the muscle repair and tissue repair. So this will likely lead to additional fat gain. Okay. Again, have you or someone you know, maybe they started out, they're slightly overweight. So they go, hey, I'm going to go into the gym and build muscle. So they go into the gym. Their body fat levels are too high to be adding muscle right now. So they're doing all of this strenuous work in the gym. And then, of course, what does it do? It makes them even hungrier. So they start eating more food because they think that they're helping their growth. But the reality is their body is just accumulating on top of what it's already accumulated. Insulin sensitivity is not where it needs to be. The body is probably a little bit insulin resistant. And so that fat burning process is not optimized. Okay. So you actually want to get the body fat levels down before you start focusing on eating in a surplus to gain muscle. Or you're going to be in a never-ending cycle. Okay, let me know if this resonates, if this is making sense. So, again, the problem is when there's excess body fat stores, the body is not as efficient as partitioning extra calories towards tissue and muscle repair. Okay, so write down insulin sensitivity, insulin resistance. If you're not sure what those things are, ask your doctor. You can look them up on your own. Okay, but once your body composition is at its optimal set point, you can begin focusing on building muscle. Again, that's just from my personal experience as a certified trainer and what seems to work across the board with all of the clients that I've worked with. So if you think that you need to get into a fat loss phase first, focus on creating a caloric deficit, no more than 250 to 500 calories less than your total daily expenditure. You can do some strength training, but definitely focus on exercises that use higher repetitions with lower to moderate weights. Keep your rest in the 30 to 60 second range. You want to be thinking more aerobic, okay? So low impact, body weight is actually a really great, you can still build strength with body weight movements. Think planks, body weight squats, body weight lunges, push-ups, etc. Okay, so low impact aerobic movements that are easy on the joints and allow you to build not only strength but cardio endurance. Okay, keep the HIIT in the interval training and the high intensity type workouts no more than twice a week. I honestly recommend maybe once a week. Okay, I think there can absolutely be a place for HIIT. I love HIIT. I get that you want to do the workouts and feel that rush and feel that adrenaline. It gives you the endorphins. But the reality is, especially if you have body fat to lose, this can stress the body, tear down ligaments. Your body is not conditioned yet to repair at that rate. Okay, and this can actually cause significant stress to the body. It can cause inflammation, water retention, sleep disturbances. It can actually heighten your appetite, which isn't going to help your cause. Okay, so just be mindful of that. Maybe think on Saturday or one day a week, you have a day that you look forward to getting that really hard, intense workout in, and then the rest of the time you're walking. And read back through the comments. Miss Gina just said she's lost 10 pounds just by walking every day, and she is an LRD 180. Sydney Ray is an LRD 180. All right, so if y'all have any questions for Sydney Ray or Gina about LRD 180, or Jenna, I think Jenna is even in it as well, let me know. And Jenna says she's got my Smarter Not Harder gym-free guide. She's been doing it and it's helped her. That's amazing, Jenna. I'm so happy for you. So if you have any questions about those things, let me know. But ask these ladies in the comments. They can give you their honest, straightforward feedback because they're doing the program now, my online course. They're doing my ebooks, and the stuff works. It's just a matter of you actually implementing it and following the advice. Okay? So, now, if you are ready to build lean mass and you are at a good optimal set point, you're at a healthy weight, you're at, good average body fat levels, then what I would say is start with a mild caloric surplus. Start maybe at like 250 calories extra. That's like a snack or like a small meal. So really, if you think about it, you're just adding in an extra meal, an extra snack, which makes sense because if you're going to be working out, maybe you need to beef up your portions after your workout. Maybe that meal or like that oatmeal or those pancakes you have after your workout or before, maybe you'll have just a little bit extra to facilitate that muscle growth, right? You don't have to go ham. You don't have to go start eating crazy copious amounts of food. You're not doing a dirty bulk, okay? So just a mild caloric surplus. Then with your workouts, you can start moving into a higher weight, okay? So a higher weight with your workouts, but moderate to lower reps. Like your rep range should be probably within that like 8 to 12 repetition zone, okay? Meaning that on the 8th or 12th repetition, like you're taxed, okay? So that's getting pretty heavy. So notice when we're doing fat loss, we're going for lower weight, higher reps. When you start getting into building hypertrophy and bigger muscles, then you definitely want to go for the higher weight but lower reps, okay? Now, HIIT, again, it's the same. Keep HIIT once a week. It's more effective if your body's not adjusted to it and conditioned to it, okay? You want to keep your body guessing all of the time. In terms of cardio, when you're trying to build mass, I would actually back down on the cardio because cardio is going to help you burn more calories. It's going to help with fat loss. But when you're trying to build muscle, it doesn't mean that you don't do any cardio, but you can get away with doing less intense cardio. Again, you can just walk, okay? You can do jogging maybe a couple times a week. But again, I would keep it minimal. Walking is really the sweet spot. You could do the stair mill or walking. Those are like my go-to cardios. Now I run obviously, but I'm also not trying to really build muscle right now because I know that I'm running a lot. So I'm not going to ask my body to do like 50 different things. Okay. So again, cardio in terms of when you're trying to build lean mass, you want to pick cardio that doesn't burn as many calories, okay? Because you're trying to facilitate muscle growth and repair. Your body needs to hang on to some extra calories so it can repair and make bigger muscles, okay? So again, walking is fine. So what that might look like is you start going to the gym 3 days a week, but you're still walking every day for 60 minutes. Plenty. Because if you think about that too, if you're already walking every day like Gina is, and all of a sudden you start adding, 3 40-minute weight training sessions, that's 120 extra minutes a week that you just added on to what you were doing. So, you're still going to burn some, but you don't want to burn too much because you want to be able to hang on and build that muscle. All right, so that's all I've got for today. I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments, do you have any other additional extra questions? I'd love to know. Yeah, Jenna, get that Smarter Not Harder guide is awesome, isn't it? Especially if you do it day by day. Remember when you reached out to me and you were asking me about it, and I was like, it's effective if you do it the way that it's set up. So I'm really proud of you, Jenna. That's awesome. And Sydney Ray says, let me see if I can read this comment without messing up the screen. I don't know if I can. Hang on, darling. Okay, so right now what I'm doing is counting calories to make sure I'm in a slight deficit so that I can still do all the exercise I'm needing to do, also upping my protein intake as well. That's awesome. Okay, so you're in a slight deficit. So you're not trying to build muscle right now. You're really just trying to, I'm assuming, lose some body fat and get to an optimal set point. So that's perfect. Awesome job. Do y'all have any more questions about this training before I pop off? Any more questions about building lean mass, fat loss phase, knowing the difference between the two? Would love to know. Just want to make sure I get all your questions answered before I pop off. All right. You're welcome, Miss Gina. You're welcome. Okay, so a couple of reminders. LRD 180, that is our brand new DIY course. If you see any of the ladies talking about it, that's what they're talking about. All that information is on my site. I'll make sure that I link it in the comments to this as well. So I have 2 online courses for you. One is a DIY. It's the LRD Express. It's the mini version. It's the best value. It's only $4.99 right now. If you purchase before the 22nd, the next 50 women, we've already had several sign up, so I don't know how many are left. But the next 50 women who sign up for 180, the mini course, get all of my ebooks for free. So you get the entire ebook bundle included. And then if you decide that you need extra accountability or you need more support, LRD 2.0 is our bigger course. That's going to be lifetime access, meaning that you get to come into, it's not this Facebook group, it's a different Facebook group. I have coaches in there every single day to answer your questions. We do weekly calls, but they're more strategic to your needs individually. So I'll answer individual questions. You get access to the entire course. So LRD 180, you get the main templates of 2.0, but 2.0, you get way more, you get the full on course. So that's the main difference. Obviously, you get the coaches, the co-coaches, weekly mentorship calls with me and individual support. So those are the main differences between the two. I know some of y'all reached out to me before this and asked me if I would go over the differences because you were considering it. So just wanted to cover that there. Does caffeine play a part of weight loss? Absolutely. So here's the thing about caffeine. It really depends on you. Some people do well with caffeine, some people don't. And I don't think it's as much caffeine as it is coffee. I think coffee is way more beneficial than just energy drinks with caffeine. Caffeine can also play a role in insulin sensitivity. So, for example, some people have said, or there have been some studies that have shown that caffeine consumption before a workout can help shuttle insulin better. It can also help shuttle glucose into the muscle. However, some caffeine, especially energy drinks, can also spike your blood sugar levels. So it can spike your blood sugar and then drop it, meaning you're more likely to snack or have sugar cravings later on in the day. So it's kind of one of those caveat things where you just need to know yourself and what works for you. But I think why people correlate caffeine with fat loss is energy. It gives you more energy and it suppresses appetite. So people think, okay, if I'm not hungry and I have more energy, I'll burn more calories. So it's not necessarily black and white, if that makes sense. There's no one size fits all. So you got to do what works best for you. All right, ladies, that's all I've got for today. Let me know if this is helpful in the comments after I post it. Good job on voting on the training topics. We'll do that again next week. I love y'all so much. And congrats to those of you in LRD 2.0 and 180. Y'all are killing it. You were doing so well. I'm so excited for you. And y'all have a great day. And what did Gina say? I was drinking 2 liters of Diet Coke per day. Woo, that's a lot, girl. Oh, Gina, take this to the bank. I don't care if you eat broccoli every meal every day and work out every day. Do you know that women who drink Diet Coke daily average 5 to 10 pounds just from the Diet Coke a year? No joke. 5 to 10 pounds average. And these are women who didn't even eat but just drank Diet Coke. You will gain 5 to 10 pounds every single year if you are a daily diet soda drinker. That was me too. That's how I know. I used to work in real estate and I sat in model homes all day. And I ate maybe 2 meals a day. Literally. I didn't eat food because I was always suppressing my appetite. And people who drink Diet Coke don't just drink one Diet Coke. No, they drink it all day. Even if it's not Diet Coke, Diet Sundrop, Diet whatever their diet soda choice is. You don't see those people drinking just one. They drink a ton. So the aspartame and the sweeteners to your brain cells, I always say I'm going to stop and then I keep going. Sorry, y'all. But the aspartame and the artificial sweeteners literally go into your brain and they make your brain cells go, I mean, it's awful. It's awful. It also causes headaches. Again, the blood sugar spikes and it causes you to keep craving. Your body gets addicted to that rush, that woo that it gives your brain because you feel so good when you have that first sip of Diet Coke, right? And then you crash. So that's what's going on there. So yeah, I'm really glad that you kicked the diet soda. That is a hard one to break, girlfriend. So anywho, love y'all so much. Thanks for joining. Make sure you vote for the topic next week. Post any questions into the group in the comments. We'll get to them as soon as we can. Don't forget about the 180 ebook incentive. It ends June 22nd, and you'll have a wonderful day.